All right, so this is going to be lesson 1-5. It's graphing a system of linear inequalities, so on a coordinate plane this time instead of just on a number line. And the worksheet that I handed out is only titled Graphing Linear Inequalities. That is why I have the parentheses around a system of, because technically it's multiple linear inequalities. All right, so class of just Arrow and Ben. Anya is now gone. The tear rolls down the face. And Claire has left us because she has cooler places to be. So say hello, Claire, everybody. Okay, they hate you, Claire. So we're going to move on to our review. They don't hate you, right, Arrow?
Right.
Okay. Horizontal lines. How do I make a horizontal line? It's going to be y or x equals a number. Let's say the number is going to be 2. Is it y or x equals 2 for horizontal line? X or y?
It's y.
It is a y. If y equals 2, you count up 2, 1, 2, and you make a line. All right, and vertical lines, obviously, Ben, it must be...
X equals 7,453.
7,453. All right, so you count out 7,453, which is right there. 7,453, and then you make your line. Good number. All right, so there's our quick review. So by the end of today, I'll give you a quick little snippet what's to come. By the end of today, what I want to have happen, and don't write this down, is I want to be able to graph our system of linear inequalities. You'll have lines that look like this, you'll have lines that look like this, and you'll be shading in certain portions. You'll be like, oh, I'm going to shade in up here, and I'm going to shade in over here, so the correct answer is in this quadrant. Does this ring any bells? No? Yes? No? Okay.
So it's where both the shadings intersect?
Yeah, it
That's
is.
like second generation.
It is, yeah. All right, so
Oh.
this is broken down into a few quick steps. We'll do the steps, and then we'll get to actually trying to do them. All right, so I believe, let's think about this. Yeah, this can be, I'm going to simplify this down into 4 steps. So I'm going to call this procedure. La procedure. I don't know how to say procedure. How do you say it in Spanish? And of course, we have no Hispanic students right now, so no one's going to answer that question. And here are the steps. There's 4 of them, and they're all pretty short. You can write them all next to each other. 1, 2, 3, 4. Isolate y. Isolate y. This is just to get it into that y equals mx plus b form. I'm hoping that's what you take away from number 1. So get it into slope-intercept form, because those are really easy to graph. You have to decide the line type, because remember how I said some of them are going to be a dashed line, some of them are going to be a solid line. I'll go over that more explicitly in a sec, but that is the second step. So decide line type. And then you obviously need to graph it. So I'm going to use the word sketch here. You're still going to use a ruler. You probably learned in geometry the difference between a sketch and a draw. Draw means you're using all the tools like a ruler and a protractor. Sketch here just means go ahead and use your ruler to make that line with your y equals mx plus b, and then shade in with your pencil roughly where it's talking about. So sketch, graph. And finally, actually I guess you don't really need to use a ruler if I'm saying sketch. Anyway, we'll go on to our final step, which is shade, that I forgot about. I thought shade was in this step, but I am incorrect. And our basic steps, we can write them underneath here, is that these two mean up. So I'll write this up and down. So what would you guys guess would be shading up? What are the 2 symbols for up? Inequalities you're thinking of.
Greater than.
Greater than or this one?
Greater than or equal to.
Greater than or equal to. Perfect. And then down obviously is the reverse. So always think up or down. Some of them are going to be kind of weird where they look like it's almost a vertical line, and you'll be thinking, hey, that's left and right. No, it's really up and down. This would be the up, and this is the down. All right, let's look at how to actually do these guys. So go ahead and sketch yourself some coordinate plane, or a coordinate plane. I don't want a dashed line, I want a solid line. There we go. What the heck? You guys saw I clicked on solid. It wasn't me.
Let me see it twice.
You have to double click. All right. Here is our equation. I'm going to use all the steps here. So I'm going to give you something that's not in y form. All right. I'm feeling like we can write it on the sidebar if you want. This is an example. Where's a good place to write the notes? Maybe I should move all these to the right a little bit. And then I can do the rearranging of stuff on the left. You can do it on the right and left. Just find space in your notes. So I'm going to do this equation. I'm going to do minus 2x, or a negative 2x. I'm going to say minus 3y. This is going to be less than 3. All right, so get it into y form, or slope-intercept form. And you should be doing this on your own, Claire, right now, instead of watching the video. So you do some magic. All right, once you have your answer, go ahead and look at the screen, look at the board. Make sure you got the same slope-intercept form that I did. Maybe I made a mistake. If you catch it, you get that extra credit point. But not Claire. You can just shout at the screen all you like, but I can't hear you. All right, we got the same thing? Thumbs up, thumbs down, we're good. Okay, go ahead and graph it. You can scale however you want. You guys have lines in your notebook. I do not, so I'm gonna say right there is about -1 for me, which means if I'm going a slope of -2/3, again, slope is delta y, delta x, that's -2 over 3. So the change in y is -2. So I'm going to go down 2 more. And then I'm going to go right 3. So 1, 2, 3. So I get this point. I think that's about, it needs to go a little bit to the right. Right about there. That's a better spot. So we have our y-intercept, a point, have our second point using the slope. We make our line. Okay, I'm going to get the slope right, and then I'll move my line. Right about there. All right, so I don't even know what step we're on. So what do? We isolated our y, so check that off. What do? We decided the line, oh shoot, we did not choose the right line. What the heck is going on? It like didn't delete my line all the way. That's weird. Can I erase it? Can I select it? What is going on? Oh, that's weird. Okay. Sorry. We skipped a step and we were incorrect. So what is our line type?
Dotted or dashed or whatever.
Yeah, it's going to be a dotted line. And why is it a dotted line? Ben. Because arrow knows.
Down.
The question is, why is it a dashed line instead of a solid line? And maybe we could put this in our notes up here since we didn't explicitly write it.
Because it is an absolute inequality, like it's less than.
Yeah. So dashed is these two, and solid is when you have an equal to. Oh, I'm going to do the same symbol. Solid is going to be an equal to. Exactly. So arrow, you corrected us. Should I give you the point for that? You did correct me. No, you're good? Okay. You have a dotted line. Okay, we did step 2, and I'm doing step 3 now. Just checking them off. Test side line type, sketch graph. Okay, graph is sketched roughly. And shade. All right, are we shading up or down?
Up.
Up, okay. Ooh, I have a highlighting tool, so I can actually like make this really pretty. Let's see a blue highlighter. What does that look like? So it's going to be up here. Cool. Easy?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Do you want to try another example, or are we good? One thing I will make a note, the reason that I reviewed horizontal and vertical lines is sometimes I'll have y's less than 2. I'll give that to you as a homework assignment. So yeah, be ready for that. Do we have questions?
Do we need 2 Inequalities or just one?
So I kind of feel like we should break this up into 2 lessons. If I do a system of linear, I know we did title this a system of linear inequalities. Do you guys want to just get it out of the way now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's get it out of the way now. So this is now officially 1-5 and 6. We can change our notes. 1-5 through 6. Get them both out of the way, which means we have no warm-up 6, so I need to make a note in my stuff. So say that was the first equation. Let's go ahead and do a second equation. All right. I'm going to write this equation in red. That way I can color code all of my stuff. Our next equation is going to be, I'll just give us something already in y form. Y is less than or equal to, I'm thinking a 2x plus 1. All right. So go ahead and graph them. Two x plus 1, so there's 1. 2x means up 2 over 1. Get your 2 points. All right. We need to decide on our line type. What is our line type again, guys?
Solid.
Solid. And it is solid because?
Because your solution includes the line too.
That's a great way of saying it. That's a graphical representation. It includes the line. If I choose anywhere on that line, oh, dang it, I didn't get the slope right. If I choose somewhere on that line, I am correct. Whereas if I choose someplace exactly on this line, I'm not correct. It's not inclusive of that line. Yeah, and the reason that you chose that, and I'll give this over to Ben, the reason that we chose a solid line based on our equation over here was what?
Because it's less than or equal to, so that means that whatever y is graphed as could be less than or equal to that.
Yeah, and the key part is or equal to, right? And that matches up with what Arrow said. It can be equal to that line. All right, so am I shading on the top or the bottom of this red line, this red solid line?
The bottom.
The bottom. So here's my highlighter for the bottom. And hey, look, it crosses twice over here. So the official solution, and I'm going to do this in black because this is the, well, I mean, I can leave it. I assume that you guys know it's where the 2 things cross, so you don't have to do anything extra. But this area right here,
It even has transparency. That's nice.
that is the solution. So you can make a little note that that quadrant, like, whoosh, I don't want to do red. I want to do black. I'm sorry. So this guy right here, that section is the solution. And this kind of gives me goosebumps in a way because it reminds me of higher math when all of a sudden it's not just enough to have not a symbolic representation because symbolic is still good enough, but you can't have a bunch of numbers for your solutions. You can't say x equals this, y equals this, because it's too infinite, it's too complex. The only answer that you can give is a graph for these. I'm not going to teach you elimination or anything. There's no real way to do this other than a graph. Graphs are one of the best ways that we have to analyze mathematics. Cool, we just hit lesson 6 by adding 1 equation onto this. That's awesome. Do you guys want to do an example of a horizontal or vertical line at all? Or are we good?
Good.
Ben?
I think we're good.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and finish the video. Let's say bye to Claire.
Bye.
They're waving, I promise, Claire. Bye, Claire.